Here in District 109, our number one goal is pretty simple, right? We want every single student to have what they need to really thrive. But how do we actually make that happen? Well, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the powerful system we have in place to support every single learner. It's a framework we call MTSS. So, what does happen when your child needs a little extra support at school? It's a question that can bring up a lot of worry for any parent. I mean, seeing your child struggle, whether it's with reading or math, or even just fitting in, it's tough. And of course, you're immediately thinking, okay, what happens next? How can I help? Well, I really want to reassure you on this. The moment a need is identified, we don't just sit back and wait. We have a proactive plan that really is our first line of defense. This isn't about waiting for a small issue to become a big problem. It's all about jumping in with immediate support right when it's needed most. And that plan? It's all built on a framework we call MTSS. Now, I know what you're thinking. MTSS, multi-tiered system of support. That sounds like a whole lot of edu-speak, right? But stick with me, because the idea behind it is actually super straightforward. Think of it as our way of organizing all of the school's resources to look at the whole child, academics, social-emotional wellness, behavior, and provide just the right level of support for their specific needs. Okay, so take a look at this. This image really gives you a great visual for what that framework looks like in action. The best way to think about it is like a pyramid. This whole structure is basically the blueprint for how we provide support. We start with a really strong foundation for all students at the bottom, and then the support gets more and more specialized as we move up the tiers. So let's break down what each of these levels actually means. All right, let's dive into these 3 tiers, starting from the bottom up. So at the very base, we have Tier 1. This is the great, high-quality teaching that every single student gets in their regular classroom every day. And honestly, for most of our students, this is all they need to succeed. Now, moving up, you get to Tier 2. This is for students who just need a little extra targeted help. It might look like a small group working on phonics or getting some extra practice with math facts. Then, at the very top, you've got Tier 3. This is for those few students who need really individualized, intensive support to get them where they need to be. Okay, so this is a really common question we get from parents, and it's a great one. You might be thinking, okay, if there's a concern, why don't we just jump straight to a more formal evaluation? And that makes total sense to ask. But there are some really big advantages for your child when we start with this MTSS process first. Let's walk through those advantages because they're super important. First off, and this is a big one, the help is immediate. A formal evaluation process can take a long, long time. With MTS, our teachers and specialists can start helping your child today, no waiting. Second, the instruction is incredibly precise. This whole process helps us pinpoint exactly what's going on. And third, and this is maybe the most powerful piece, the data we collect builds a bridge. If a formal evaluation does become necessary down the road, the team isn't starting from scratch. They have all this amazing data showing what we've tried and what's worked. It gives them a huge head start. And I really want to land on this point. This entire system, this whole process, it only works because it's built on partnership. It is at its absolute best when our educators and you, our families, are working hand in hand. Seriously, your involvement, your insights about your child, your collaboration, it's not just a nice to have. It's absolutely essential to making this process successful. So you might be asking, okay, what's my role? What's the first step? It's actually really simple. Your first and best point of contact is always your child's teacher. Our educators are amazing. They're so skilled at looking at all the data and seeing the big picture. Think of them as your number one ally in this. Just reaching out and starting that conversation, that's what opens the door to getting your child the support they need right away. Now, on the flip side of that, sometimes we'll be the ones reaching out to you. Our problem-solving teams at school are constantly looking at how students are doing. And if we see that a child isn't quite hitting their benchmarks, we might recommend moving into that Tier 2 or Tier 3 support. When that happens, your quick consent is absolutely key. That's what gives our specialists the green light to jump in and start helping. So when we call, a quick yes is what unlocks that next level of support. And let's never lose sight of the ultimate goal here. The whole point of MTSS is to give a student the precise support they need to be successful right where they are, in their main classroom, learning right alongside their friends. It's all about building kids up, not pulling them out. When you boil it all down, this whole process really comes down to one simple, powerful idea. We truly are stronger together. That partnership, the one between you at home and us at school, that's the bedrock. That's what creates the real foundation for every child's success. Thank you, really, for being such a vital part of our school community. You make all the difference.